What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we got to talk about Cris Carter responding to Skip Bayless. Now, Skip Bayless responded to the comments Cris Carter had about, saying he would punch Skip in his face when he disrespected him live on air. And Stephen A. Smith and others had to try to defuse the situation before it got physical. On First Take. Now, Skip Bayless is saying that he don't even recall that ever happening. I don't know if that's to save face or to make it look like he didn't get chumped. Uh, in the studio, or making it like if that would have happened, he would have took another route. But we have Cris Carter responding to those comments that Skip Bayless took to the New York Post and disclosed to Ryan Glass-Steagall. They talked about that. So this is what Cris Carter had to say.
So I want to read you Bayless's response to what you said was your story. Okay?
Okay.
New York
All right.
Post.
All right. I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No.
Okay. This is the first time you're hearing it.
Somebody told me that he responded, and
But you haven't read it yet.
yes, I haven't
Okay.
read. No.
New York Post.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Only to you. It's about you. You haven't read it yet. Chris and I sparred often on First Take during the Tebow run in 2011. But I have zero memory of him telling me he was going to punch me in the face, Bayless said. What is your response to that?
Well, there's really no need for me to respond. There was no need for me to make something up. Actually, if you look in the comments, the producer of the show is in the comments.
Really?
And he says, I remember the show vividly.
He commented in the comments.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So then I wasn't on a TV show with Skip Bayless until I went to Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't on any more shows for the next 4 or 5 years at ESPN with. So Stephen A is my guy, which we're going to have him on the show.
Which I'm looking forward to.
And he knows the reason why I wouldn't come on there was because the reason why, because I know a lot of people in the comments are like, wow, why would that get you so upset? There are certain rules when you do shows.
Okay.
There's certain understandings. There's certain places that as a host, I've hosted my show and I've been on other shows hundreds of times. There's certain places that are out of bounds. So I ain't supposed to be here. And I ain't getting paid to be here. And then now you're going to talk about, oh, you didn't win a Super Bowl. You ain't won nothing nowhere.
Correct.
When you run out of intellect and you run out of information, your bailout is, oh, well, what didn't you do at the highest level? Well, I'm one of 25,000 men that have played in the NFL. I'm one of 12,000 played more than 4 years. Forget all the accolades and everything.
Yeah.
Just surviving, I did that.
Correct. Hey, what do you dislike the most in the world? Like when people treat people a certain way. I said when they bully them. Meaning, that whether it's verbal in any way, there's no repercussion for you.
Right. I think every boy by the age of 8 to 10 should be punched in the face
A number of
for doing
times.
something stupid.
100%.
I think that, is the stove hot? If you say something stupid and you offend someone,
Correct.
and you go out of your way to do it, I think if we did that, I think by the time when they grow up, they don't try to act so studio tough and everything, or
Correct.
microphone tough.
There's a
and
consequence.
everything. Yes.
When you say dumb things or you say things that's offensive to people, a lot of times people do it for clout today, and you send a lot of the mess on the internet. But when you say things like that, once upon a time, you used to have to square up with people and use your hands. When you're being blatantly disrespectful, you couldn't just let that fly. You couldn't hide behind a gun. You had to be able to stand up to that, whether you won the fight, whether or not, you lost it and got humiliated, but you had to stand on what you said, man on man against man. And that's kind of what Cris Carter is speaking to. Obviously, they were in a business setting. Stephen A. didn't want to mess that up. And it also occurred to me, hearing Cris Carter talk, why Stephen A. Smith was so adamant over the last year or so, saying that him and Skip Bayless would never work again. He said it, together again. He said it on Cameron's show. He said it on his own show. And he continued, to say that there was no possibility there. And it occurred to me that what Stephen A is saying without saying is the relationships he has with other athletes and people that can potentially be on the show. You see, he can go on Cris Carter's show now because they maintained that relationship over time. And what Skip Bayless was doing to him and Shannon Sharp is making things a little weird. Not saying that the guys that he was sitting across from didn't maintain those relationships, but when you're showing up and you're around Skip every day, it does make things a little fuzzy because he's sitting across from you saying it. And Skip, even though he had a trolling tendency, he didn't consider the relationships and working relationships, business relationships that neither one of his two co-hosts had. So I kind of got what Stephen A was saying as I was hearing Cris Carter talk both in the other video and in this one, about Skip Bayless. And it's true, athletes don't like to be called out, or I can't even necessarily say called out, but disrespected about, the blood, sweat, and tears they put into that career, especially someone who was as great as Cris Carter, to kind of diminish him and say you didn't win a Super Bowl, to talk to Shannon, who was a part of 3 Super Bowl teams, and say, Brady was greater than you. It reeks of him having some deep-rooted issues against athletes who are able to pursue their profession at the highest level. And that's something Skip need to get fixed. He's made his money and he's did his thing in journalism. We'll never try to discredit him, but everybody know athletes are sensitive to their career. You're sensitive to things that you've put a lot of work into, a lot of sweat behind. And so to try to diminish that and try to tarnish that, and make it a butt of a joke, and it's a respect thing more than anything. Those type of conversations can get sensitive behind the scenes. You trying to do it live on air to sun somebody to get a one up and to get a ooh and a ah. And athletes aren't built like that, And so that's why, you don't see people clamoring to go on Skip's show. Skip has blazed his own path, but along that path, you lose access to certain resources with the way that you're going about things. And so, hey man, it is what it is. I want to know what you think about what Cris Carter had to say, though. Saying that, Skip basically trying to deny that it happened, to save face. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down.
I'm not going to take it down.
Skip, 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 Skip.